Mauritius. A small, remote island born from volcanic activity some 10 million years ago, surrounded by the vast blue waters of the Indian Ocean. With its white sandy beaches and tropical forests, the island was a paradise for the unique wildlife that evolved here. And with few predators, Mauritius sustained a perfect harmonious balance between its native plants and animals. However, life in paradise was not perfect for long. At the end of the 16th century, man arrived, and Mauritius now has one of the highest population densities in the world. They cleared the land for settlement and agriculture, and with them they brought new predators. Together they massacred the wildlife. Soon after its discovery, the island's rich wildlife plunged to the brink of extinction, many meeting the same fate as the dodo. But all was not lost. Of the few patches of forest that survived, hope was found on a tiny island off the east coast, one of the last harbours of native coastal forest in Mauritius. Île aux Aigrettes. In 1965, it was declared a nature reserve, and 20 years later, the Mauritian Wildlife Foundation began work on its restoration. Predators were eradicated and invasive plants were replaced with native ones, paving the way for the reintroduction of rare Mauritian wildlife. One of the first animals to be reintroduced was a pigeon. However, it is more glamorous than the feral pigeons that roam our streets. This one is pink and is one of the rarest pigeons in the world. In 1990, there were only 9 left in the wild. The survival of the species looked bleak. However, the Mauritian Wildlife Foundation established a captive breeding and release program, saving the pink pigeon from extinction. There are now more than 470 in the wild, and the population of Île aux Aigrettes is coping with a little less assistance from their saviours. This male has spotted a female. He takes to the stage, puffing up his chest and bowing to her in a bid to be noticed. She is impressed, and they cement their relationship by feeding one another. Once the pair has built enough trust for each other, the male will initiate the most intimate act of all. Meanwhile, other pairs have already built nests and produced offspring. This chick is 23 days old and will soon leave the nest with a much higher chance of survival on this predator-free island. Yet there was one unwelcome guest that could not be eradicated. the Asian musk shrew. This little critter doesn't bother pink pigeons, but it is a real problem for the endemic Telfair's skink, which is now completely extinct from the mainland. Shrews prey on young skinks and their eggs. But the skinks also hunt young shrews. A near miss. But for now, there is balance. Predation by egg-snatching rats and monkeys has had a devastating effect on one endemic species, the olive white-eye, the rarest bird in Mauritius. Being one of the smallest, they are perhaps the least well known of all the Mauritian birds. However, they exhibit one remarkable behaviour that hasn't gone unnoticed. They endeavour to find their soulmate, and once they meet, they stay together for life. And preening one another strengthens this bond. Now it's the other's turn. Another factor in the decline of the olive white-eye was habitat loss, since nectar is a fundamental part of their diet. Thankfully, Île aux Aigrettes provides them with enough flowers to get by. Using their acrobatic flying skills and long, thin beaks, they are able to reach into the depths of the flowers to sip the sugar-rich liquid. Delicious. Habitat destruction and nest predation has also affected the Mauritius fody, causing their population to halve in just under 20 years. To save this charismatic songbird, chicks had to be rescued and hand-reared in captivity. They were released onto the rejuvenated danger-free island just 10 years ago, and they have been multiplying without hesitation ever since. In the breeding season, the red-headed males are extremely territorial and vocal. All in an effort to attract a rather less vibrant female. This male hasn't developed his red feathers yet, so it is a little surprising to see that he has already acquired a mate and begun building a nest. He must have something that the other males lack. At this stage, the female is busy lining their nest with feathers. Whilst the male guards her. As their home nears completion, the pair will mate multiple times to increase their chances of raising a family this year. It won't be long now before there are eggs. The reintroduction of these unique animals alone has provided us with a glimpse of what Mauritius would have looked like before the arrival of man. However, there was still a missing link. Giant tortoises. 2 species once roamed Mauritius. They played a key role in the ecosystem as grazers, browsers, and seed dispersers. But being easy prey, they became extinct in the 1840s. There was only one sole surviving species left in the Indian Ocean. The Aldabra giant tortoise from the Seychelles. To restore the ecological balance, the Mauritian Wildlife Foundation released 20 of these slow giants onto Île aux Aigrettes. By eating the fallen fruits of native plants, they disperse the seeds around the island in their droppings, facilitating the germination of these rare plants. Paradise was restored. It is something of an irony that man, the destructive force in the island's narrative, is also the very reason for its rehabilitation. Fortunately, this time it is in the caring hands of the Mauritian Wildlife Foundation. The restoration of Île aux Aigrettes is a story of remarkable success. The conservation efforts have reanimated the land with an ecosystem that is at last peaceful and productive, and ensures that generations to come are able to appreciate the magnificent wildlife exclusive to Mauritius. But most importantly, it communicates a vital message: that it is never too late to save an animal or its habitat from the brink of extinction.